All right, folks, we are officially live. Welcome to my weekly Sunday live stream where I answer your questions. It's been a very busy week here this week, and I've had a lot of success with my most recent video, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it so much. It's just been really amazing. This channel has been growing like crazy, and I've been getting a lot of really great emails and a lot of positive feedback from my music intro on that video in particular. So I think I'm gonna have to write a song using that riff. I really liked that, and a lot of people really connected with it. So I think I'm gonna have to write some songs. I'm gonna have to write a song that is using that riff for sure. It was just something that I came up with really quickly right before recording the video. You know, when it comes to writing music for these videos, I don't really spend a lot of time. You know, these are all just ideas that just come to my mind, and then I just hit record, and my setup is really great. You know, it's very easy to get ideas down very quickly. So yeah, I just hit record, and that's what came out, and a lot of people really connected with it. So I think I'm gonna have to write a song using that riff. And thank you guys so much for watching that video. Seriously, it really means the world to me. I've gotten just about 200 subscribers just from that one video alone. And I think a lot of people really connected with it. So again, musically and even just what I was talking about in that video. You know, I've gotten a lot of great emails from people and a lot of texts, a lot of comments from people. So again, really do appreciate that. It's just been another busy week here for me in Nashville. I've been teaching a bunch, been playing, and just been making these YouTube videos. And like I was saying, the most recent one was really a home run. It really did really well. So again, thank you for watching that. I'm really happy to be here. I go live here every single Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. I answer everybody's questions. You know, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. It always takes a little bit to kind of get some people here on the live stream. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of what all has been going on. I checked out this really cool 68 Les Paul Custom. That was a really cool guitar. Really enjoyed that a lot. It was a really inspiring instrument, but just crazy money, man. Just crazy price. But it's just what it is now. You know, the market on these vintage guitars has just gotten insane. You know, people are paying top dollar for these instruments. So it just is what it is, you know. It's really just gotten crazy, but it is what it is. You know, those instruments are so inspiring. They sound so good. They can sound so good. But you know, they're all a little bit different. You know, there's some that are just absolutely amazing, and there's some that are just terrible. So you definitely don't want to spend 25 grand on a 68 Les Paul Custom when it plays and sounds like shit, you know. And there are some that do not play and do not sound very good, you know. So it's all about trying to find that instrument, and that one in particular was just amazing. So once you find that right instrument, man, it's just priceless. It's just an amazing thing, and it's so hard to find the right one, you know. All of the parts have to be just right, man. The hardware, the pickups, the neck has to feel right. It just has to sound right and has to play right, you know. And it's tricky, man. It's really difficult, you know. You could line 10 or 15 of these vintage instruments up, and they're all going to play a little bit different. So when you find that one in particular that's really good sounding and really good playing, it's really hard to say no and to pass it up, you know. So it's worth the price. And vintage guitars have been an incredible investment. It's just amazing to think about how much that these instruments have gone up in price over the years. It's just kind of mind-blowing to me that a 68 Les Paul Custom is selling for 25 grand, but that's the market today. You know, it's changed a lot, you know, and it's just crazy. But anyways, yeah, I checked that out, and that was a really cool guitar. Really liked it a lot. So I've been kind of itching to buy it, to be honest. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. We've got Jerk Harry in the house. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, hi from Ireland. Do you have any new instruments now, or are they all vintage? Yes, so I have several reissue instruments, but they're all heavily modified. So all of my reissue guitars are modified with the vintage pickups. I really like the patent number pickups in particular, the ones that are, right after the short magnet PAF pickups. They're actually the same as the short magnet PAF pickups, but they just have a patent number sticker on the back of the pickup. So that's the only difference. So instead of that sticker saying patent applied for, it just has the actual patent number sticker on the back of the pickup. So those are the pickups that I really prefer, to be honest with you. But I also like T-top pickups as well. I think they sound great, and they can be really good in the neck position. They're very clear sounding, and for me, I like a really clear neck pickup. So I like to use those. So all of my guitars have patent number pickups. They have old pots from the 60s or the late 50s. I have several instruments, so it really depends on what instrument I'm talking about in particular. But every single one of them has been completely gutted and completely modified because the new parts are just garbage. They're just terrible. They're not good. They're not the same as the old hardware. So that's what I use on my reissues. You know, I change out the keys, I change out the ABR, I change out the whole system, you know, the ABR, the thumb wheels, the studs. I change out the studs for the stop bar and the stop bar. I pretty much change just everything. Like I was saying, I literally gut the entire guitar. I just get rid of everything because the repro parts are just so bad and they're so different in comparison to the reissue parts. So that's what I've done, and man, I got to tell you, I've had some really great results with doing this. My latest video, if you watched it, that was just my R9 guitar, and that's just a 59 reissue that has been heavily modified. It has patent number pickups, it has a 57 wiring harness that came out of a 57 gold top, and it has the original Kluson Deluxe keys that would actually be from a 59 Les Paul. So, and then also all the hardware has also been changed as well to all vintage hardware. And I just love the way that that guitar sounds, man. I think it sounds excellent. And I got a lot of compliments on the video with that tone that I got there. And that was really that guitar, man. That guitar just sounds amazing. I can plug that guitar into anything and it just sounds amazing. So really, really happy with that. But I have several reissue instruments. Still, of course, have vintage instruments as well. You know, I've got several. I've got a 64 335. I've got a 64 SG. I've got several of them. So, you know, I just love collecting guitars. I love having different instruments because they just inspire me in different ways, you know, and it just forces me to create something a little bit different or maybe play a particular phrase a little bit differently. Because of the way the instrument sounds and the way that it plays. They're all a little bit different. So I just love having all kinds of different instruments for the inspiration. But let's see here. We got a super chat here from Who's Your Rock. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate your support as always, man. Seriously. He says here, how do you boost your solos? I'm currently using an EQ pedal in my loop. Do you get by just using your guitar volume knob? Good question, man. So I normally, if I'm using like a pedal board setup, I like to have the GE7 going after the drive. You know, if that's plugged into like a Fender Deluxe Reverb, you know, I'll just boost the mid-range up just a little bit. But EQ is really going to be your friend. The Boss GE7 just works amazing, you know, so using the EQ in the loop, that totally makes sense. I mean, just for me, I don't really like effects loops, to be honest with you, because they change the tone. And when you're running the EQ in the loop, it changes the sound of the amp so much that I just don't personally like that. I would rather get the gain from the pedals and then use the GE7 after with like a deluxe reverb or something like this. You know, so that's just my preference. And of course, depending on the amp, you know, like if I'm using a Marshall or something, like this DSL 50 I've got here, or I've got a Pro Junior, those amps already are so mid-range heavy that the guitar tone just really cuts in a mix. So you don't really need a boost, to be honest with you, to get it to jump up in volume. Of course, having a second master volume is always cool. That's what I really like with the DSL 50. Is that it does have a second channel, so you could set the second master volume up just a little bit hotter, so that you can really get that volume jump. But it's really all about the EQ, honestly. So there's several ways to do it. Just kind of depends on what your amp setup is or what you're doing. Just for me personally, I don't really like effects loops. For me, I'm more traditional. I really like the plexi style amps, that just have, the presence, the bass, middle, treble, and the 2 volumes, and that's really it. And you just blend the low volume with the bright volume, and that's kind of it. I mean, you could use an EQ pedal to boost it a little bit, just to get a little bit more gain, but those amps already have so much mid-range that it's not really necessary, to be honest with you. So I don't know, man. Yeah, there's a couple ways to do it. I mean, it's always nice to have a front of house engineer that knows the material, that can just boost you up for when the solo comes up. I prefer that, but if you're doing it yourself, if you're playing a club or something, having an EQ in the loop would work great. I mean, having an EQ after the drive would work great if you're using like a Fender Deluxe Reverb, or if you just have a mid-range heavy amp to begin with that's loud, you could just use that, man. You don't really need a boost, It's interesting, sometimes when I'm playing live, I feel that I need a little bit more gain under my fingers just for whatever reason. Maybe the power is a little bit different, or maybe I'm just kind of tired, or whatever the reason is. I don't really know exactly why. It's just sometimes I just feel like I need just a little bit more under my fingers. So I like to just have a boost going into the front end of the amp sometimes. But again, it's not really necessary, to be honest with you. So there's definitely several ways to do it. But for me, I use the guitar volume knob all of the time. Not to boost for solos. I just roll it back just to clean up the amount of gain that I'm playing with. And then on like the chorus section or a guitar solo, I will roll it up to 10 just to get the most output. Just so that I'm, more dynamic within the mix, and that's how I learned how to play is I learned by using the guitar volume knob, and I'm constantly adjusting that on the gig, or whatever it is I'm doing musically. Just because my ears are hearing something, like on the verse, I just don't want the guitar to be as up front. Whereas the chorus, I want it to be really up front and really loud and punchy, because you want the chorus to really hit. Same thing with the guitar solo. You really want the most output so that the pickup is, driving that amp just a little bit harder for solos, So for me, I'm a very, very dynamic player, and I really try to listen to the other musicians that I'm playing with, because maybe throughout the verse, maybe there's a keys part or something that needs to shine through, or, of course, in general, the vocal has to always shine through, always. So that's really why I always am adjusting that volume, and sometimes I need to pull it back more, maybe down to 5 or 6. Maybe it's down to 7 or 8. It just kind of depends. I just use my ears to hear what really works within that mix as far as how far I go down or how far I go up, So, great question, though. Definitely important, especially if you're playing a club where you don't have a front of house engineer that knows your material. If they don't know the songs and they're not really actively mixing or listening to the show, you have to be able to boost your own solos, For me with the Marshall, once again, I mean, I could really kind of get away with just using that. And it's so mid-rangey, and my tone just cuts through a mix so well that I don't really need it. But, of course, having a second, master volume, like on this DSL, it just works great, man, honestly. I think these Marshall DSLs are really cool. You can get them to sound good. You definitely can. I had this amp heavily modified to be more like a plexi, and I just love how simple it is, and I just love the design of it. I never use the reverb on it. I think the reverb just sounds terrible on it, so I always just kill that. I just set it down to 0, but it's a great design, man. There's 2 channels. You have the crunch side, which is like a lower gain, mid-rangey kind of a plexi thing, and then you have the second channel, which is a higher gain tone. And again, you have that secondary master volume. So if you wanted to boost for solos, you can click it over to the other channel, and you now have a secondary master volume, which is really cool. And it just works great. I think it's a great design, and, it's a Marshall. it does that Marshall thing. It does the mid-rangey thing. It's one of those amps where you got to turn it up. It's really the same old story with these amps. You just have to crank the shit out of them. You got to turn them up to 5 or 6 to really get the power amp section working and to really push those Celestion speakers so that that Celestion color is coming into the overall guitar sound. That's the biggest thing with Marshalls. I love them so much. And, it really doesn't matter what model you're playing. You just have to turn them up, man. It's the same old thing. Once you get the volume up to 6, that's when you really start to get that Marshall thing happening. That Celestion color starts to come into the tone, and that low-mid thing happens with the Celestions, and it just takes over, and it's a very, very powerful sound. It's really, really good. But the problem with that is now you're running the volume at 6. So now it is very, very loud. Very loud. I mean, just punishing. Even with a 50-watt amp, it's a very, very loud sound. So it can be really overwhelming for most mixers and most players in most rooms. So that's kind of the problem with the Marshall thing, So for me, that's what's cool with like a deluxe reverb or... gosh, there's so many great solutions out there. I mean, you could use pedals to get the gain. You could, use a little Fender Pro Junior. I love those amps. They sound great. There's a lot of ways to get that sound at a lower volume. I've been actually experimenting with the Kemper here, and I've been really happy with that so far. It's been really cool. I've been able to get some really great tones at a very low volume, so that's also another great solution. It just kind of depends on what you're going for. I think there's nothing better than that amp in a room tone where you just feel the amp and it's filling this room, and that Marshall's on 6. It just sounds amazing. It sounds amazing, and it's really inspiring to play because you as the player are hearing how loud that this amp is, and you're just hearing the tone, and it sounds so good, and it's just loud as hell. And again, it just drives you. It just inspires you to play. So that's always going to be a thing, and I think all of these digital amp modelers will never be able to recreate that thing, that experience. And that's what makes playing guitar so fun, in my opinion. But I think that there is a place for the digital amp modelers. I really do feel that. I think they are an amazing tool, especially the Kemper. I think it's a really great tool, honestly, to have on hand. Because if you are playing a smaller club or something, and you just don't want to bring a lot of stuff, the Kemper makes a lot of sense. It just really, really does. So I've been really happy with it so far. I've just been experimenting with it, and it's been cool. Oh, man. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. If you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links that I have linked down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me here on the channel, and I truly do need your support to continue on making these videos. I make absolutely nothing off of these live streams, so this is just a donation of time. I really just do this just to show my support and to give thanks to all the fans out there that follow my channel and watch these videos. It really means the world to me. But really, at the end of the day, I'm not making very much of anything off of these YouTube videos. So I really do need your support to continue on doing this. So check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. If you want to throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is really, really appreciated. I do also offer one-on-one online lessons. You're actually seeing and hearing the exact setup that I use for these online lessons. So if you're interested in this, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. That is my personal email. I'd be happy to get you some more information on this, and I'd be happy to get you down in the books today. Thanks so much once again. I really do appreciate any and all support. I truly need your support to continue on doing this. So this is really a labor of love at the end of the day, man. It really is. It really is. It can be tricky, can be tough for sure, but I still love it. I love playing. I love making these videos. I just enjoy it, man. I really do. It's really awesome. And I love doing these live streams. It's always cool to see where the conversation goes. You just never really know. It's always different every week. Sometimes we have a massive crowd. Sometimes we have a little bit of a smaller crowd. And it's just kind of the way that it goes. It's very unpredictable. But that said, it's a lot of fun, and I'm really, really happy to be here. But yeah, folks, that's pretty much all that's been going on, really. I've just been teaching. I've been making these videos, and again, the latest video did incredibly well. It was just amazing. It's got like 17,000 views the last I checked, which was really cool. And the intro, I got so many compliments on, man. So many people just loved the music. So I'm gonna definitely have to write a song around that riff that I came up with for that intro. I've gotten a lot of emails from people, a lot of compliments, and a lot of comments about it. So I think I'm gonna have to do something with that riff for sure. That's always a really good sign, and that's what's so cool with YouTube is I can, write this music and share it with people and get instant feedback on if they like it or not. So I got a lot of great feedback on that, so I'm gonna definitely have to do something with that riff for sure. But yeah, the video was very, very true. I mean, everything that I said in that video is 100% true. That is really 90% of all of the gigs that you're going to find here in Nashville as a for-hire player. And it's just mind-blowing to me. I mean, some of these artists are making, 100,000, a couple 100,000. I mean, $1 million plus a night, and it's like, gosh, man, they're paying their musicians, $500 a night. And I totally get it. At the end of the day, it is their name and it is their music. But it's just kind of like, really? Like, man, if you're making $1 million a night, like, I'd be like, man, I got to give my musicians a little more, because they're doing a great job. I want to support them, and I don't want them to have to go out to Broadway and play for $100. It's just kind of crazy. But, I mean, that's just how it is. It's amazing. I mean, you go down there, man, and you'll see guys all the time that are down there playing for $100, and it's like, man, they're on a major artist gig. I remember even for myself, I was out opening for Styx. This was years ago, and you can actually see a video that I created back in the day. It was kind of like a travel vlog video that I came up with. And it was all around the experience with Styx. So go and check that out if you haven't. It was posted many, many years ago now at this point. But I tell this story all the time to my students and to my YouTube audience here. But I remember I was finishing up in California. And I was waiting there at the airport for my flight to go back home to Nashville. And I got a call to go play downtown Broadway at Rippy's Rooftop, and it was so weird. It was like, man, I just went from playing to 15,000 people to now, like, I'm flying home and now I'm playing at Rippy's Rooftop, so I've done it myself, man. I understand, this was before I had any of the online stuff going. This was back in the day when I was just making a living as a live player. That's it, and as a musician, So you have to take the gigs when they come in, because it's just one of those things, like, that's what you're doing for money, so you got to do it, And it's just wild, man. It's just kind of crazy to me how, musicians have to seriously take those gigs, to make ends meet, It's just wild. But let's see here. Who's Your Rock says here, coming to you from Southern Indiana. Cool, man. Awesome. Where do you go in Nashville when you want to hear live music? Oh gosh, man. I mean, there's so many clubs and so many venues. It's really insane. I mean, Third and Lindsley is always really cool. Basement East is great. The original Basement's really cool. I love Brooklyn Bowl. That place is amazing, man. I actually went to go see a rock band, Our Lady Peace. They played there, what was that, on Wednesday or Thursday? I think it was on Wednesday. And man, it was a great show. That venue is just amazing. It's a great venue. It's called Brooklyn Bowl. they've got a couple of them all over the country. They have one in Vegas and one here in Nashville, and I think another one in like Philadelphia, if I remember right. But man, it's a great venue. The sound is just amazing. The drinks are expensive as all hell. It is outrageous. But man, it is a kick-ass venue. But I'm trying to think of what other ones. I mean, off the top of my head, that's really what comes to mind, really. I mean, of course, if you've never visited here, you got to go down to Broadway, you know. You just got to experience that, you know, one time, I think. I mean, with me living here, I don't really go to Broadway all that much. It's just really chaotic and just really nuts. I mean, anything goes down there, man. You'll see all kinds of crazy shit down there. But yeah, so it's not really my thing at all. But yeah, I mean, gosh, there's so many great venues. It's crazy. It's really hard to say. I mean, I would say 3rd and Lindsley, Basement East, and Brooklyn Bowl. Those are some of my favorites, at least. But it is amazing, you know. I mean, there's live music here all parts of the day, man. I mean, starting up at 10 or 11 in the morning every single day, 7 days a week, man, until 2 a.m., you know. Every single day there is live music happening here. And, you know, when you go down to Broadway, it's all the same cover songs. So that's what I just find so interesting with that whole scene there is, like, it's so many bands and they all play the same songs. It's all the same set list. I mean, you could literally walk down Broadway and hear Fishin' in the Dark at 5 different bars at the exact same time. You know, or what's another one? I mean, gosh, there's so many. You know, Sweet Child of Mine is a classic. You know, Mama Tried. You know, all these songs. I mean, it's just the same old, man. Every single day, man. It's the same songs, just over and over and over again. And it's just kind of silly, really. But people love it, man. I tell you, you go down there, man, that place is just packed. I mean, this weekend, it's just been nuts around here, man. It has been crazy. But it's just really not inspiring to play gigs like that as a musician because, you know, it's just the same songs just over and over and over again. You know, it's just creatively, it's so boring. It's like, man, like, you're just playing the same songs just over and over and over. Just kind of sucks, you know. But let's see here. Larive Man is in the house. Hey, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, my American Standard Strats and Tellys are good enough for me. That's great, man. That's awesome. Good for you. You know, I mean, it's all in what you enjoy, man. It's all what inspires you to play. It doesn't really matter, you know. There's a lot of great guitars out there, for sure. I've been really digging the Sur Strat as of late. I picked one up recently, and I'm really liking it, man. Honestly, it feels great to play. I really like it. It just sounds killer, man. It's a nice weight, nice neck. It has the 5-way selector switch on there, and man, you can get the sounds in between. I mean, it's not really necessary. Like, I had a 64 Strat where it had an original 3-way switch. And you can definitely just set it in the middle, and it just sounds great. I love that too. But the Sur Strat is killer, man. I've been really digging it. But I do need a Telly. I've still got that road-worn Telecaster, which is really cool. I like that guitar. But I am looking for a Sur Telly because I am selling my 66 Telly. I'm just selling off a bunch of instruments because I'm trying to raise money to pay for the record. And it's going to be really expensive. So that's why I'm selling off a bunch of different instruments. I've still got a really cool collection, which is great. I was talking about it a little bit ago here in today's live stream. But just kind of had to downsize a little bit just because I needed the money to, pay for this record that I'm working on. So the stuff is still for sale. It's actually over at Carter Vintage right now. So consigned a bunch of stuff there. But let's see here. Larve Man says 2 of my strats are HSS. That's cool. Yeah, HSS is a great pickup configuration. You know, you can really do a lot with that. If you're on a cover gig or something and you just want to bring one guitar, that's a really great choice, you know, because you got the humbucking in the bridge, and then you got the 2 single coils where you could get that, you know, single coil tone. And it's just a really versatile guitar. It's a really good pickup configuration. But for me, when it comes to a Strat, I prefer just the 3 single coils. And then if I'm going to go for a humbucking sound, I'm going to go to my Gibsons, you know. That's just what I prefer. But the HSS is a good pickup configuration for sure. I mean, it really is. It's definitely a sound. It's just, for me, I would rather let the Strat just really be a Strat and really let it do its thing. And then whenever I want the humbucking tone, go to a Les Paul or an SG or a 335 or something like this. You know, I prefer that tone. I just think it's honestly a much better tone. You know, it's definitely different compared to the Strat. So, but definitely a really versatile pickup combination there. So, really cool. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. If you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links that I have linked down below in the description box. I offer one-on-one online lessons. I have a Venmo and a PayPal tip jar, or you could throw a super chat here in today's live stream. You know, these live streams are a donation of time. I make absolutely nothing on this whatsoever. So if you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links down below and, you know, throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar, or maybe the PayPal tip jar, or maybe even a super chat here in today's live stream. Any and all support is really appreciated. Let's see here. Larve Man says here, I don't use my tube amps any longer, either Tonex or Helix. That's cool. Whatever works for you, man. Like I was saying, I mean, you know, there's a lot of great options out there. There's a lot of great gear. It's pretty insane, you know. Just for me, the Tonex or the Helix just does not compare whatsoever to a real tube amp. It sounds completely different. It's just not even close to being right. In my opinion, the best amp modeler that is available is the Kemper. That is my absolute favorite one. I think it is. It's very good, man. It really is, and especially for live, you know. Gosh, man, when you're playing live, it's great to have that direct signal and to just be able to, you know, have your effects in full-on stereo, you know, you know, the guitar is totally direct. You know, there's no mic bleed. There's no anything getting into the guitar mics. Like, it's all just completely direct, you know. It's a really great tool. It really is. I've been experimenting here with the second version, the latest version of the Kemper, and I've got to say, man, it's really impressive, man. I've been really happy with it, so pretty cool. But let's see here. Larve Man says, I have Jackson Amp Works. I don't know that brand. Mesa, Vox, and Fender. Man, I've never liked Mesa amps. I just think they sound terrible. They're really well built, you know. I think they're just amazing, you know. The craftsmanship is just so impressive with those amps, but they just all sound terrible. Honestly, they all sound just awful. I would much rather play a Marshall, a Vox, or a Fender. I just think they sound way better than a Mesa. I never ever was able to get that amp to sound right, man. They all sound terrible. Let's see here. Who's Your Rock says here, what are your favorite speakers for Marshalls? Man, definitely Celestions for sure. I am not too picky, man, honestly. I love the 20s that are in this. I love the 30s that are in that basket weave cabinet there. I love 65s. Those sound great. You know, I'm not a huge fan of vintage 30s. They don't really sound great to me. But yeah, I mean, even creambacks are cool. I've got all kinds of Marshall cabinets, man. I just swear by the older Marshall cabinets. They just make such a huge difference in the tone. You know, you could run literally any amplifier into these two cabinets here, and they will sound absolutely amazing. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, people always think that a tube head is going to make a huge difference, but it just really doesn't. It's really a lot about the speakers and the cabinet, you know. And with these old Marshall cabinets, you know, the wood is so old and so dried out, and you know, even the cloth, like the original pinstripe and the basket weave, you know, the cloth just makes a huge difference in the overall tone. It just really does, you know. It's amazing. Like, it's a combination of all of these things, you know. And I think that the old Celestions in particular just sound amazing, man. They're really, really good sounding. So, especially with the Marshall, man, like even taking this DSL and running it into a pinstripe or a basket weave, it just sounds amazing, man. It's really, really good. So, can't go wrong with the Celestions. Now, also, EVs can be really cool with a Marshall as well. Now, the biggest difference with the EVs is that it's not going to give you that Celestion color, right? When you start turning up the amp and you get that low-mid thing that the Celestions all do, it doesn't matter, no matter what speaker you're playing, man. Especially the old ones, you know, they give that low-mid thing to the tone, and it just sounds so killer. But you got to get them up in volume, you know. That's the biggest thing. You got to really, really push the amp, and it's just screaming loud at that point. But, man, there is no tone like it. The EVs, though, you know, they just don't color the tone at all. You know, it's just going to give you exactly what the amp is doing, which can be cool, and it is a sound, but I prefer the Celestions, just for me personally. So, Larry Vay says here, you can't beat a tube amp for tone. Yeah, definitely, man. I totally agree. I think for recording, especially, tube amps will always be the best, for sure. But I think for live, you know, these digital amp modelers, man, especially the new Kemper, I got to tell you, man, it's amazing, man. It's really, really amazing technology. So, really, really solid. Let's see here. Samuel is in the house. What's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, I've been using the Citadel pedal into Tweed Deluxe. Cool. I don't know that pedal. I'm not sure, but I know a great Tweed Deluxe, man. Can't beat those. Those are awesome. Let's see. Larrivee says here, the Mesa EQ is non-standard. If it's EQ'd wrong, it does sound awful. Done right, for me, it sounds great. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, man, it doesn't matter where I set the EQ, man. I just think that they just all sound like shit. Just to be honest with you, man. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could turn them up, you could adjust the EQ however you want, man. It's like they just don't sound good at all. Just really, really bad sounding, just in my opinion, you know. But he says here, I like a Thin Lizzy tone. That's cool. Thin Lizzy is cool. Great band. But yeah, folks, thanks so much for joining me here in today's live stream. I really do appreciate it so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really excited to be here. You know, I do want to take the time to mention, once again, all of the links that I have linked down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me here on this channel, you know, and these live streams are a donation of time. I make absolutely nothing on this whatsoever. So if you guys are interested in supporting me, check out all of the links down below in the description box. For one-on-one online lessons, I have a Venmo and a PayPal tip jar. I have a Sweetwater Music affiliate link where if you're looking to purchase some kind of gear, you know, you can simply just click the link down below, and I just get a small little commission off the sale. It just is a nice way to support me here if you're already looking to buy some kind of gear. And check out my Instagram page, by the way, too, folks. I'm trying to get a little bit more active on there. My username is just Justin Effin Meyers. That is my username. That is my account on there. So be sure to add me on there. Follow me on there. It's linked down below as well. But yeah, folks, you know, if you want to throw a little love in the Venmo tip jar or the PayPal tip jar or even a super chat here in today's live stream, once again, I truly do need your support to continue on doing this. I make nothing on this whatsoever, so any and all support is really appreciated. Now, these live streams are all about you guys, so if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. I've been really happy with the growth of this channel. My latest video has about, I think it actually passed 17,000 views now at this point. And just from that one video alone, I got about 200 subscribers. So that is performing really well. And I was talking about it a little bit ago here in today's live stream, but I need to write a song around that riff. I got a lot of really good positive feedback from a lot of folks saying how much that they really enjoyed the music. So I think I need to write something, and I need to take that into the studio for sure and create a song around that. So I'm writing for that, and still writing. You know, I've got a bunch of different ideas. I probably have, gosh, I don't know, hundreds. It's got to be hundreds of different musical ideas that I've recorded that I have just on a flash drive. But it's so difficult for me to pick something, you know. I don't know. I just love all of the music that I write so much, and you know, it's just hard to pick one, you know. So I've been just trying to pick out the best 6, and then I'm going to take those songs into the studio and record those 6 tracks and try to shop around for a label deal. So that's eventually the plan with that. But I'm currently right now trying to raise money for all of this. So I'm selling off a bunch of instruments. I'm selling my 66 Deli. I'm selling my 64 Hummingbird. I'm selling, you know, a couple old Epiphones that I had. I'm selling, you know, my 61 335. I'm just selling off a bunch of instruments to raise money for all this stuff. So it's going to be a really expensive endeavor for sure, but I need to get music out there. So that's what I'm working on right now. But again, thanks so much for watching all of my videos. I really do appreciate it. It's been amazing to see all of these people comment and all these people watch my videos. It's just been awesome. So again, thank you guys so much for all your support. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer whatever you guys have for me. I've got another busy week coming up here. Just going to be teaching a bunch, and going to be playing a bunch, and just going to be recording and writing some more music. So really excited about that. I've got a bunch more videos coming up soon, so stay tuned for all of that. And if you are brand new here, be sure to join me every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. I go live every single Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. As long as I'm in town, as long as I'm not on the road or something, or if I'm traveling, I will always be here at 11:30. So if you are brand new here, come on back and join me. I go live every single Sunday, and I really love doing this. It's really cool way to give back to all the fans out there, and it's always interesting to see where the conversation goes, because you just never really know, you know. So it's always a lot of fun. But yeah, once again, folks, if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. I've been having a lot of fun experimenting here with the new Kemper. This is the Mark II version. And man, it really sounds good, man. I wanted to change up my live setup going forward, because I've just been having a lot of issues with my tube amps as of late. And man, I've got to say, man, it's just amazing with this Kemper how consistent it is. And you know, with these digital amp solutions, they're not sensitive to power like a tube amp is. So, you know, night to night, you always have the same consistent tone every single night. You never have to worry about like, the power is a little different at this venue, so, you know, the tone is a little bit different and you don't have as much gain, you know. And that's why sometimes for me, whenever I'm playing live, sometimes I feel like I need a little bit more gain, and that could be because the power is different, or like I was saying earlier, maybe because I'm tired. Just kind of depends. But what I love with the Kemper, man, is it's a consistent tone every single night, man. And it's just awesome. You take 2 XLRs, you run it left and right, and you have full-on stereo effects. So it's been a really great tool, and I think the new second version, the Mark II Kemper, has just been a game changer. Honestly, it really has been. It's just a great, wonderful tool that I just really am really enjoying. But let's see here. Scott from South Carolina is in the house. What's going on, man? How are you? Thanks so much for being here. It says here, Have you gone down the little Fender amp rabbit hole? Not really. I had an old Princeton Reverb that I liked a lot. Um, and for me, like I like a Great Tweed Deluxe. Those are really cool amps. Currently, I have this little Fender Pro Junior. I'm actually in the way, but it's back here. And I really like that amp a lot. That really kind of does it all for me. So I really haven't gone down that whole rabbit hole. And that's kind of the thing is like, I don't like doing that in general with the gear. I like to just have a setup and just stay with it rather than going down all of these, rabbit holes and trying out different setups and different pedals and all this stuff. I mean, there is so much gear out there. It's just overwhelming. And to me, it's all about the instrument. It's all about the way it plays, the way it's set up, the way it sounds. Are the pickups right? Are the is all the hardware right? I mean, is the pots and the caps original pots and caps? To me, the reproduction stuff is just terrible, as I've talked about many times here on the channel. So I just modify all of the reissue guitars that I play, and I like to have the reissues on hand just because I like to be able to take them out on the road, rather than taking out my prized possession, 64 335 or my 64 SG or something that's in all original condition. I just don't want to take the chance of something happening to those instruments. So I really just record with those, and I collect with them, and I just get inspiration from them. So that's why I really enjoy the vintage instruments. But just to me, once again, it's really all about the instrument. These amps and all this stuff, it really doesn't matter, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I could play pretty much whatever. I mean, if I'm using a Kemper, if I'm using plugins for my demos, or if I'm using a Fender Pro Junior or a Marshall, or this PV5150 or whatever. I mean, they're all really cool. They all sound good, but to me, it's like if you don't have the right instrument and it's not dialed in, it doesn't matter, man, what you're playing. It's not going to sound right. It's just not, man. And so to me, it's once again all about the instrument. So I've never really gone down that whole rabbit hole of trying all the different little Fender amps. I mean, I know there are so many different models out there. It's just ridiculous. But for me, I really am loving this Pro Junior, man. I think it just sounds awesome. It's a really, really killer amp. So I've been really enjoying that. And, it's cool with the little Pro Junior too, because it's a very small cabinet, with a small speaker. So you get that much tighter, much more focused kind of guitar sound compared to like a big 412. Now for me, I love the sound of a 412, but it is very different from a small amp. So that's why for me, I normally like to blend both together, have the big 412 sound with a little Fender Pro Junior as well, because you can get the best of both worlds. You get that really tight, focused, mid-rangey kind of tone from the small cabinet of the Pro Junior, and then you get the big, wide, just huge low end from the 412 cabinet with a Marshall. So you kind of get the best of both worlds there. So I've been really happy with that setup in particular. So let's see here. We have Yoko Malite in the house. He says here, hello, Justin. What's going on, man? How are you? Thanks so much for being here. Really do appreciate that so much. We got a lot of new names on here today, folks. So thanks so much for joining me, and thanks so much for watching the channel. Really, really appreciate it. Let's see here. We have a Never Not Whammy in the house. What's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, have you tried or have you had any luck getting a great sound out of the Fender ToneMaster Pro pedal? No, man. I think those sound terrible. I don't like them at all, man. For me, I really am digging the new Kemper. This is the second version. I'm actually going to do a video on this. I've been really digging this thing. The biggest thing with the Kemper is that you have to upload the right profile. And I think with the latest version, the technology is so amazing with this thing that it just sounds and feels almost identical to the amp. It really does, man. It sounds wonderful, honestly. I've been really happy with the effects and just the profiles that I've been pulling up here. Um, it's just a really wonderful tool, especially for playing live, because it's very lightweight, it's consistent, it's not sensitive to power like a tube amp is. Um, it's a completely direct guitar sound, so you're not going to get bleed into the mic, or you're not going to have some kind of phasey kind of sounding guitar out front, because the 57 is picking up all kinds of different stuff on stage besides your guitar. It's just all the way around, man. It's so much better. So what I really want to experiment with the Kemper is I want to try running a tube power amp with it, and then have that drive an actual cabinet and use the direct outs on the Kemper, but also mic up a speaker with an actual 57. So it would actually be 3 lines of guitar going out to front of house. Just because sometimes with the direct sound, especially when you go down low, and you're, say, like playing like a drop D riff or something, sometimes the drop D chord just gets a little thin sounding. It doesn't really sound exactly right. So that's where I think driving an actual cabinet with a tube power amp and miking up a speaker would be really good, because you could get that depth from the actual Celestion speaker and then just blend all of this stuff together. So you get the benefit of going direct, and you're also getting the width of the speaker and actually having a live mic on this actual guitar sound. So that's definitely something I really want to experiment with. I think it would be a really good sound for sure. But yeah, I don't really like any of the digital amp solutions. I don't like the Helix. The Tone Master doesn't sound right to me. Even the Quad Cortex does not sound right to me. I think it's a little, it's just weird, man. Like it's powered off of a weird powered supply. And I remember I tried one, and there was like some kind of weird grounding with it, where like you would hit a chord and you could hear this weird artifacts in the background, and I think it's because of a bad ground with the power supply. So it's just not good. And like, it's weird with the Quad, because the power supply is some kind of weird power supply. It's not like a normal 9-volt. I can't remember off the top of my head what exactly it is, but what I like so much about the Kemper is it's just a standard IEC cable. So it's not like you have to have some kind of crazy power supply, and especially on tour, man, like if you accidentally leave the power supply and you're using one of those Quad Cortex things, forget it, man. You are screwed. You are screwed. Whereas, with the Kemper, man, it's just a standard IEC cable. So you could find those anywhere, So I just think the Kemper is a much better design. And I like the workflow of it. It reminds me a lot of like an amp, where you have the 3-band EQ, you got the gain control, you've got the volume. You can turn knobs, and it's all very hands-on compared to the Quad Cortex, where it's like, yeah, it's got a touch screen and all this stuff, but I don't know, man. To me, it just feels weird, like adjusting the knobs with the foot switch and all that. Like, I just don't like it. I like the Kemper. The workflow is just way, way better. So, let's see here. Never Not Whammy with the fist pump, and then says here, I feel like the big full sound I want to get when playing by myself doesn't translate in a band mix, where a more focused mid-range sound is better with the band mix. Thoughts? Yeah, of course, man. I mean, definitely. Guitar is a mid-range instrument. You really want to add mid-range to this guitar sound, to get you to cut within the mix. When you're playing by yourself, you always want to add low end because it just feels good. And when you're listening to a solo guitar just by itself, you want to hear that low end, but whenever you're in a band mix, and you're playing with a bass player, you're playing with a drummer, you're playing with a keys player, I mean, you really have to find your place within the mix. So yeah, definitely. I mean, a more mid-rangey, more focused guitar sound is really going to be better within a band mix for sure. Even for myself, like whenever I'm mixing and I'm recording my own solo guitar compositions that I do here on YouTube, I always try to add more low end to it, because again, it's a solo guitar. It's not something that I'm fitting into a mix. So yeah, that's 100% right, man. 100% right. Let's see here. Scott says here, I love my P bass. Producers seem to like the sonic range, and it may not cut into the guitar's range on a recording. Yeah, P basses are great, man. I've got an early '70s P bass. I think it's a '71, and it's great, man. It's killer. I love them, man. They're very versatile. I think they are the best bass ever created. Honestly, I mean, P basses just sound amazing. They're very versatile, and they just kick ass, man. They're awesome. I do also like the Music Man basses as well. You know, if you want that humbucking sound, that's a pretty cool sound. But you know, for me, the P bass is great. It just fits perfectly within a mix. You know, it really does. It's very versatile. You could play pretty much any genre with a P bass. You know, it really does it all. So it's a really, really great instrument. But yeah, I would love to actually get another P bass. I'd love to get a 63 or something. That'd be cool. You know, I love that profile. That year for Fender in general, like on the Strats, on P basses, just on all of their instruments. 63, 64 are just perfect, man. They're just amazing. The neck profile is just incredible, and the pickups are much, much better from that year, honestly, compared to a lot of the 50s stuff. You know, a lot of the 50s stuff, they were still trying to kind of figure out everything, and you know, a lot of those pickups are really hyped up. They're really overrated, to be honest with you. I think when they go, you know, with Gibson, for example, in '61, you know, they go to the short magnet PAFs. They really got it. They really figured it out. And I think Fender also really figured it out, you know, because they were in competition with Gibson, obviously. And I think, you know, 61, 62, 63, 64, those years for electric guitar and bass, I mean, just the instruments that were made those years are just amazing. And then it's just so funny because then in 65, Gibson goes down to the thin nut and just absolutely kills all of their models. Just literally kills it. You know, 65, they just completely ruin all of their guitars until 68, they come out with the Les Paul Custom, and they did the full nut width, everything. I mean, those guitars are great. I love those guitars. I actually was playing one the other day that they're asking $25K for, but I mean, man, I tell you, that guitar was badass, man. I would definitely play that. But, man, I mean, I just think that those years, you know, 63, 64, you know, I mean, really 61 to 64, man. Those are such great years for electric guitar and for instruments in general. I just think they are just amazing years. You know, I think a lot of the 50s stuff is really hyped up. You know, I've played some 50s instruments that are cool, you know, like a great 57 Gold Top or something. You know, some of those are cool. But, man, I think a lot of that stuff is really hyped up. And, you know, in that decade in particular, it was all so new. You know, they were trying to figure out all of this stuff, you know. It was not really figured out yet until 61, in my opinion. In 61, when they go to the short magnets, they really, really got it. And Fender and Gibson both really figured out the pickups and the pots and everything. So that's just my opinion. But let's see here. We have KNDLL in the house. What's going on? Thanks so much for being here. It says here, I will say the 59 Jazzmaster pickups I have are hands down the best Jazzmaster pickups I've ever heard. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's some, man, from the late 50s that sound great. I mean, there's no denying it, man. I think, you know, every guitar is different. Every pickup is different. You know, it depends on the output, depends on who is winding it that day. I mean, they all sound different, man. You know, so, I mean, that's cool, you know. You know, it's just really, in my opinion, I just prefer the instruments from 61 to 64. I think those pickups in general, they are way more consistent. They are better sounding a lot of the time. I've played some 59 Jazzmasters that sound like shit, you know. I've played some that sound amazing. You know, it's the same thing with a Les Paul, you know. I've played some 57s or some 59s that sound absolutely amazing, but I tell you, man, like the majority of them do not sound that great to me. I mean, especially the PAF pickups, a lot of them have a ton of low end, man. I remember I had this 59 335 that I was checking out here, and the neck pickup had so much low end. It was so woofy sounding. It just sounded terrible. It sounded terrible. And so many people just hype it up, you know, because it's the internet and people can say whatever the hell they want, right? And, you know, they're just obsessed with buying the 59 just so that it's that year in particular. And I tell you, man, I've played a lot of 59 335s that were terrible, to be honest with you. The pickup sounded awful, and the neck profile was literally identical to the slimmer profile in 60 and 61. I mean, if you're talking an early 59 335, you know, a late 58 to early 59 335, it's going to have that fat, chunky 59 profile that, you know, a lot of people like, you know, myself included. You know, I have this 60 Epiphone Wilshire that has two P90s that has a 59 neck profile for whatever reason. It's a very rare guitar. Super, super rare. But just a baseball bat of a neck, man. It's just incredible. And, man, that guitar is just amazing. It's just a badass guitar. It sounds incredible. But, you know, people just obsessed with the 59 thing, and it's so hyped up. It's so overrated. And people pay so much money for those guitars. And I tell you, man, the majority of them are not that good, man. They are not that good. It is so hyped up. And that 59 335 in particular I was talking about, somebody, you know, stripped the neck and they resprayed it, and there was all kinds of fuckery with it. It was just, oh my God, man. I would never buy that. And somebody actually here on YouTube bought it. And, you know, I'm just like, man, I'm just glad I did not buy that thing. It was a disaster. So, but let's see here. KNDL says here, that's fair. The necks at that time are also so wild. Where you end up with those super skinny and thin necks. Yeah, I mean, they're just all different. You know, all of those instruments back in the day were made by hand. So they're all a little bit different. You know, you can't really, you know, say that this particular year has this exact profile because they're all a little bit different. So you just have to really spend time and play them, you know. There's a lot of really terrible opinions online from guys that just try to line their own pockets up. I mean, there's a lot of shysters and a lot of scammers that sell this stuff, you know, unfortunately. And so they start up bad opinions and bad rumors and stuff online, and people read this stuff, and people that don't have any experience with this stuff, they don't know any better. They just read it online and they just take it for what it is. But there's just a lot of really terrible opinions, and that's why I always tell people, you just got to go and play it, man. You got to sit down with it. You got to see what the neck is like, you know. And if you like it as a player, that's all that matters, man. It doesn't matter what some online idiot has to say about the neck profile, because they're all wrong. These opinions are some of the most incorrect opinions I've ever heard. Just completely off, man. I mean, it's gotten so crazy. And I think the internet just has there's so much wrong with the internet, man. It's just crazy. I mean, there's a lot of things that are great about it, but man, when it comes to music and when it comes to guitars and just opinions and all this stuff, it's just really, really unfair, man. And unfortunately, you know, it really affects the value of these guitars. You know, it just does, you know. So it's just kind of crazy. But let's see here. Scott says here, I heard Bonamassa say the 59 Les Paul was not his favorite player. The early 60s 335s were his favorite. Oh, yeah, man, definitely. Man, the early 60s, like my 61 335 that I have over at Carter Vintage right now, that guitar would blow away a 59 Les Paul, man. It sounds way better. 335s in general sound better. It's a bigger body. It's got the center block, so it's perfect. You can really drive it and turn it up so you don't get any feedback. That guitar sounds amazing, man. It sounds incredible. And it's a fraction of the price. People are paying, depending on the amount of flame on a 59 Les Paul, they're paying anywhere from $300 to $700,000 for one of those guitars. And I tell you, man, I've played a lot of them, and a lot of them sound like shit, honestly. They do not sound good. I would put my 64 335, my 61, even my reissued 335 up against any 59 Les Paul, and I guarantee you the guitar will sound better. Guarantee you. It's crazy, man. I mean, they are so hyped up and so overrated. It's unbelievable. Now, I will say, I think the 57 gold tops, those have a sound. There is no denying it, man. I think the majority of those gold tops actually sound better than a lot of the burst Les Pauls, and they are, again, much, much cheaper. They're still very expensive, about 200 grand you're looking at for one of those, but I think they sound way better than the burst Les Pauls. And I think there is something about the gold, there's something about the finish. I don't know what the hell it is. There's something in the finish that changes the tone of that guitar. It's just clear as day, man. It's just beautiful sounding. So, I mean, if you were going to throw down some serious money on a guitar like 200 grand, man, I would definitely look at the 57 gold tops because I think they sound amazing. And, yeah, I mean, those 59 Les Pauls, they're so hyped up. They're just bullshit. I would much rather have a vintage 335 or a 57 gold top. I'm telling you, man, like this 61 that I have, the 64 335 that I have, they are just amazing sounding, man. They are just incredible sounding, which is why I invested so much money into them, because they just sound amazing. They sound incredible. Much, much better than a 59 Les Paul. And again, a fraction of the price. Let's see here. Brian's in the house. Hey, Brian, what's going on, man? How are you? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, what music is inspiring you lately? Oh, man, good question. I play so much. I don't really listen to a lot of music, to be honest with you. I love rock music. I try to listen to my favorite bands that I grew up listening to. That always just inspires me. I just turn it up really loud whenever I'm driving, and I'll drive really fast, so not really anything new, I guess I should say. I just have not liked a lot of the new music that has come out. It just all sounds the same to me. It's all the same. All of the Nashville music, it all sounds the same. It's the same guys playing the same bullshit on all of these songs. Literally, the only thing that's different is the actual vocal itself. I mean, so I don't know. I'm not really too happy with the new music that comes out. So really, I've just been listening to a lot of the bands that I grew up with, that I grew up listening to. Van Halen, AC/DC. I've been listening to a lot of Steve Stevens. He was one of my favorite players growing up, especially the Vince Neil solo record that he played on. His playing in that record is just phenomenal, and that record really kind of got shelved. It did not get promoted as much as the Motley Crue record, and that's because, when Vince left the band, the labels started playing a lot of games, and they didn't want to push Vince's solo record as much as the new Motley Crue record, because they knew the Motley Crue record would generate more income. Obviously, it's a bigger name, so they didn't want to really push Vince's solo record. But I'm telling you, man, that record really, really inspired me as a kid. Steve's playing on that record is just phenomenal, His guitar tone and guitar playing is just amazing. So I guess I have been listening to that, but nothing really new, I guess I should say, because I just don't really like the new music that comes out today. It just does not sound good to me. It's the same old, same bullshit. So, let's see here. Yoko says here, are you teaching guitar lessons? Let's see, Yoko Malay, yeah. Are you teaching guitar lessons, Justin? I am new here, just curious. Yes, I am. I offer one-on-one online lessons. I teach people from all over the world. You're actually seeing and hearing the exact setup that I use for the online lessons. So if you're interested, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. It's linked down below in the description box. But yeah, man, I teach people from all over the world, and it's all people from my YouTube community. And what's really cool with the lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the very end. So you can just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So it's really great. The platform is just amazing. It works really, really well. There's no freezing up or no glitching up or anything. It just works incredibly well. So again, if you are interested in this, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. KNDL says here, sorry, phrased that weird. Didn't mean to lump all Fender necks into one. I actually meant the same thing. They're all so different that you get these massive swings in neck size. Yeah, totally. Yeah, man, they're all different. I mean, again, those instruments were all made by hand. So, they're all different, man. Every single one of them is completely different. So, I mean, you could line 10 or 15 of them up, man, and every single guitar is going to play differently. So you can't really just say like, oh, this has a 59 neck profile, or oh, this has a 60 profile, right? I mean, yes, you could say in general that like late 59 and early 60s 335s have a slimmer neck, but it's not really all that much, man, really. I mean, you can't really say like, oh, this is the exact profile, because again, they're all different. Every single one of them is different. So, it's just a really terrible opinion to say that every neck is the same, because they're just not. It's completely inaccurate. But he also says here, size that makes it essential to find the one that speaks to you. Yeah, definitely. It really depends on your hand size. Some guys really like the thinner necks, because they have smaller hands. But really, for me as a player, I could make literally anything work. It does not matter. If I'm inspired by it and I like it, I buy it. That's it. I don't really think about it. I don't obsess over the details of the neck depth and all of this BS that you see online. Like, none of that stuff matters, man. It does not matter. It's all about sitting down with it and being inspired with it and playing the shit out of it. That's the whole point of it. Now again with the internet, like it's changed things so much, man. And everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's an expert in the vintage guitar world when they're not. A lot of these guys are bullshitters. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And they're not players. These are guys that just read stuff online, and they hang this guitar up in a glass case and they just stare at it. I mean, it's like, what the hell is the point of that? I mean, how is that fun? It's really stupid. Let's see. Scott says here, just my opinion, but I'm concerned down the road you may regret letting your 335 and Tele go. Is there another way to get your demos recorded? Well, yeah, I mean, it really sucks to let those instruments go. I mean, they're great guitars. But it's just one of those things, it's so hard for me financially to afford all of this stuff, where I'm trying to record my music, and I'm not just trying to put out some BS demos. Like, I really want the music to be radio ready and to be really good. And, there's a lot of guys that try to say that their music is radio ready, but it's not at all. It sounds terrible. And it's not even close to being radio ready. So it's used very, very loosely, this term, A lot of this stuff just sounds awful. And I don't want to be spending thousands of dollars on shitty recordings, because the music, when you listen to the recording, you listen to the music, it says a lot, man. The music really communicates to the listener, and whenever I listen to this recording that is supposedly radio ready, I listen to it for about 5 or 10 seconds and I click it off, because it just is immediately, it just screams to me, okay, it's Nashville session players that really don't give a shit. It's half-assed. It's the very first part that comes to mind. That's what they're committing to, and I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, and that's why I've been really against doing like the usual Nashville way of recording things, because even for myself, I have been on sessions with major session players here in town that show up to the studio high as fuck, or they're drunk, or whatever it is that they're on. They're on pain pills or whatever it is they're high. And just for me, I take my music so seriously. I would not want somebody to show up at the studio effed up. I want people to be serious, and the guys that I hire, I want guys to show up that are really serious about the music. They're serious about creating something amazing, and I realize that I am going to have to hire a drummer and a bass player. I am going to have to bring in somebody, but it's just finding the right people, man, and really finding the right producer. And it's very expensive to record music. I mean, if you want to rent out Blackbird, you're looking at $2,200 a day. You're going to have to bring in a producer. You're going to have to bring in players. You start adding up all this stuff, man, and I mean, it's thousands upon thousands of dollars. So to me, I don't want to just half-ass it and just do it here at home. It just doesn't sound right. And to me, when you listen to these recordings, it really says a lot, man. It really does. The music really communicates once again, And, just think about all of the BS that these labels and all of these people get sent on a daily basis from people. The stuff just sounds absolutely terrible, and their ego is so huge. They try to say that it's radio ready, but it's really not at all. It's not even close. Not even close. So that's just where I'm at with that, and unfortunately, I've just got to let some stuff go. It's just very hard to afford the vintage instruments now. I mean, they've gotten so expensive, and recording is very expensive. All this stuff, man, it's all very, very expensive nowadays. So it's very hard to pull off in 2026. Being a musician, being an artist in 2026 is not easy. That's for damn sure. But let's see here. We've got Chris in the house. Hey, Chris, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. It says here, took me way too long to learn this lesson, but hype has sent me in the wrong direction too many times. Going forward, I have to play it in person, and I usually know even before I plug it in. Yeah, man. Totally agree, man. You could literally play an electric guitar acoustically, and it just says a lot. You will know instantly. You don't even need to plug it in, man. You don't even need to hear the pickups. You don't need to hear any of that. If it doesn't sound right, if it doesn't feel right, forget it, man. Just move on. That's it. And, the internet, it really has changed things. It's gotten so out of control with all of these guys and their bullshit opinions. It really is unfair, and a lot of guys try to leverage their name as a player. And, what works for them doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you, Everybody is so different, and really within the music business as a whole, whether it's, opinions on vintage instruments, whether it's, recording music, I mean, literally anything relating to music, it is all so subjective. And, nobody really knows what the hell they are doing, really, at the end of the day. Everybody is really just kind of guessing. You could hire the best producer that has all of these credits, that is charging $10,000 a song to record, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the right fit for your music. And it doesn't really mean anything that these guys have these credits. These guys sure like to cash in on their credits, that's for damn sure. But it really doesn't mean anything. A lot of these guys have just been lucky that they were at the right place at the right time, and it just so happened that this music really took off, and it just worked. Just whatever happened, the song just worked. It just connected, It wasn't because of this producer. It wasn't because of that person or that guitar player or me as a guitar player or whatever, right? It just kind of happened, it just kind of worked. And I just always find that so interesting. There's so many egos, especially here in Nashville. A lot of these players, they are really hyped up, man, to be honest with you. And they are really not that good, to be honest with you. Again, they make a living off of hype. And just because they have played on this record or this song, that doesn't mean that their opinion is right. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter, man. It's all about you, man. At the end of the day, it's what you like, what you're inspired by. I can share my opinion and I can tell you what I like, but once again, it may not be the best for you. So it's just something that you have to figure out. Music and guitar playing, it's a very, individualistic journey. It's not something where you can watch a YouTube video or, you can read an article online from somebody that's totally biased and then, that is just the way. That's not right, man. That's not what music is at all, And, I think that's why music today has gotten so sterile. It's so boring and it's just the same old thing. Every single song sounds the same because it's all the same musicians that play on all this stuff. It's not a band. It's not a group of guys that are fighting each other in the studio, that are trying to get their parts heard, that are, trying to collaborate. It's 4 or 5 people in a room collaborating and writing this music. And all of these people have different ears, So that's why all of that music was so unique and so different. It's not just the same session players that do the same bullshit on the same old chord changes, the 6-4-1-5 or 1-6-4-5 or some kind of variation on that chord progression. It's really just bullshit. And, that's why today's music sounds so similar. It is not that difficult to create parts over a 6-4-1-5. I mean, it is elementary level playing. In my opinion. I mean, it is not that difficult. I mean, it's the same changes over and over and over again. The only thing that is actually different with the music is the actual vocal itself. To me, all of this stuff just sounds the same. It all sounds the same, man. And hype in general, is just it's never good to listen to the hype, man. Find your own sound, do your own thing. That is so much better, man. And everybody is different at the end of the day. But let's see here. We have a super chat here from Chris. Thanks for the great content. Thanks so much, Chris. Really do appreciate that so much. Really, really appreciate the support. And folks, if you guys would like to contribute, I've been going here for about almost an hour and a half now at this point. Been having a ton of fun here in today's live stream. We have a great crowd here, a lot of great engagement. So if you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links I have down below in the description box. If you guys would like to throw a little love in the Venmo Tip Jar or the PayPal Tip Jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is really appreciated. I do also offer one-on-one online lessons. So I truly need your support to continue on making these videos. It really makes a huge difference at the end of the day doing this because I really do not make much of anything off of these videos. So I truly need your support to continue on doing all of this. So check out all of those links down below in the description box. Thank you so much, Chris, for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, you have a long live stream going today. Yep, no problem. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Brian says here, are you writing instrumental guitar focused tunes? Tell us more about your music. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I cannot stand instrumental music. Cannot stand it. I just cannot stand it. I mean, it's the fusion instrumental stuff I just do not like whatsoever. I'm more of a rock and roll guitar player. I like hearing a great high-pitched vocalist. I love old school rock and roll. That is just my favorite style of music. It's just what I enjoy, man. I love rock, so that's what my music is going to be. But it's going to be kind of a blend of multiple genres. It's going to be rock-based, but I want to try to get this music to appeal to a massive audience. Really, rock as a genre as a whole is a very small genre, when you compare it to, say, pop. So I want to try to blend some elements of other genres into my rock music so that I can get this music to appeal to all kinds of different fans. So that's what I'm going to try to do, and that's really what my attempt is. I have an amazing vocalist that I'm working with. He sings in a popular rock band, and we currently have 2 songs together right now. I wrote all of the music and contributed to the lyrics and the melodies. I had the concepts and all this stuff. He just kind of helped me piece together some lyrics and help me with melodies, and it's just been a collaborative effort on creating the song. So it's been really cool. But I have all of these musical beds that I have written. I probably have over 200 on my flash drive right now of different musical beds and different ideas for songs. And so basically the way that I go about writing is I write the music, and then I'll just listen back to the music, and the music really speaks to me. It depends on the track, it depends on the particular music, and this music really speaks to me and tells me what kind of concept and what I should really be writing about with this particular music. So that's why I personally like to start off with the music, and then the music tells me what to write about, and then I come up with lyrics and melodies over the top of this music. So it's really going to be rock in general, but I want to try to blend other genres into my sound so that I can really appeal to a massive audience. And I have so many people that have reached out that are so excited about the music. So it's just really awesome, and it's wonderful because now I have my own community here on YouTube where I can share my own music. This latest video I just posted, I created a riff literally right before hitting record on my camera, and that's just what came out of me in the video. That was all just improv. I just was hearing this stuff in my head, and a lot of people really connected with that riff. So now I'm like, man, I got to take that into the studio and write a song over that, because I got a lot of great feedback over that. So I'm definitely going to work on that and write some melodies and write some lyrics over that for sure. So stay tuned. Let's see here. We have super chat here from Scott. Thanks so much, Scott. Really appreciate that. Says here, thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks so much for being here. And man, you've been a long-time supporter of me, so I really do appreciate it so much. Once again, folks, if you guys would like to contribute, check out all of the links down below in the description box. If you want to throw a little love in the Venmo or the PayPal tip jar or a super chat here in today's live stream. If you guys are interested in one-on-one online lessons, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. I'd be happy to get you down in the books today. Take your guitar playing to the next level. You're actually seeing and hearing the exact setup that I use for these online lessons. It's all shot in a 4K camera. It's all pro audio as well. And what's so cool with the lessons is that you'll actually get a recorded copy of the lesson itself at the very end. So you could just simply download the video and rewatch it as many times as you want. So again, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. Thanks so much. Let's see here. It looks like I am totally caught up on the comments here. Thanks so much for a great live stream here today, folks. A lot of great engagement, a lot of great questions and comments. We have a great crowd here today, so thank you guys so much. If you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. I've just got a busy week coming up here. I'm going to be teaching a lot, going to be playing a lot, and I'm going to be doing some more experimenting here with the new Kemper. This is the second version Kemper that I've been playing, and I've been really digging it so far. I've got to say, it's a really great tool, man. The effects in it are pretty impressive. The amp modeling, I think, is just hands down the best of any digital platform. So I've been really happy with it so far, and what I like so much about it is that it's very much like an actual amplifier, where you can walk up to it, you can turn a knob if you want more mid-range, if you want more top end, or if you want more gain, whatever it is that you want to adjust. It's very easy to do that, and I just like the workflow of this way better than any one of those. The quad cortex thing, or the Tone Master, any of that shit. I don't really like the way that they sound either. They don't sound very good to me either. So I've been really happy with it, man. So far, so good. I'm just experimenting right now with the right profile and just kind of getting everything dialed in. I've just been looking for a digital solution for my live playing because, man, I've been taking out my tube amps and I've just been having a lot of issues with them. And it just is really driving me nuts, to be honest with you. And tube amps are so expensive to service. I love them so much. They're just awesome and they're great to record with. But for playing live, man, I think honestly I'm going to go with the Kemper. I think it just makes so much more sense, to be honest with you. It's just a great tool, once again. So I'm definitely going to make a video on this and share this with you guys, so stay tuned for all that. But I'm just really excited about this week, man. I've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of teaching, a lot of playing, and just more experimentation with the Kemper. And I've got a bunch more videos coming out here soon, so stay tuned for all of that. If you guys have any other questions, it looks like no other questions have come in. So I may sign off here for today, folks. But this was a great live stream. Seriously, thank you guys so much once again. Went for about an hour and a half, so got a little carried away with some of the questions and some of the answers. But I think today was a great live stream. So thank you guys so much for all the engagement. I really do appreciate it. If you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. Once again, I don't make anything off of these live streams, so any and all support is really appreciated so much. So check out all of that stuff. If you're interested in one-on-one lessons, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to send me an email. That is my personal email as well. But that is all for today, folks. Once again, thank you so much for watching these videos, and thanks so much for joining me here in today's live stream. Come on back and join me next Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. I will be live once again here on YouTube answering your questions. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care, everybody.